Hello and welcome. This is my video on my Flannery O'Connor paper. I'll be discussing questions about my paper and the general theme that is centered around it. My paper was on the religious dilemma that surrounds both Parker's Back and Good Country people. The religious dilemma I write about is grounded in the problem of human error and people acting out of what they believe to be God's will. In Flannery O'Connor's works, there seems to always lie a moment of action, whether it be self-inflicted or indirect, that pushes these characters away from their faith and towards the rejection of God. While these actions originally seem to spur from a place of faithful intention, like the scene in which Sarah Ruth whips her husband's back out of a self-induced sense of holy righteousness, the actions immorally follow the same pattern of leading the once faithful character down a path of faithlessness. When a character's faith wholly determines their thoughts and understandings of life and the world around them, it leads to an extremely unstable worldview, and as such, when their faith is lost, so too is the life as they know it. By showing these characters the cruelty of the world and their role in it, these actions that O'Connor incorporates so often into the lives of her characters show us, the reader, both the oasis of faith that can be for people, as well as the dangers and cruelties caused by believing in something blindly and taking no responsibility for what these characters might call divine intentions. I chose this topic as it conveys the fragileness of relationships, especially those that are grounded in religion. This is accomplished in her story Good Country People, when Holga, who originally rejects God as a whole, becomes entranced by Manley's deception and witty charms. As he lures her into trusting him, she begins to place him on a pedestal and believe in him, deifying him in an idealized and perverse way that contrasts to her lack of faith in God. Once Manley has harvested Holga's newfound faith in him and in the world, he rips it away from her along with her wooden leg. This moment of corrupt and perverse action casts Holga further and deeper into the well of rejection compared to before she met Manley. The end result shows Holga further away from God and the world as a whole. Flannery O'Connor takes a different approach with Parker's Back, as she shows the aftermath of corrupted actions for Parker, a man of ignorance, and his wife, a woman plagued by blind and religious devotion. It is made clear throughout the text that Parker has an identity problem, as he feels no sense of character nor individuality. This causes him to seek refuge in God, as he believes the religious aspect of the religion would unify him. He attempts to find sanctuary in God by having the Lord's face tattooed on his back, as an ever-present reminder of who he wants to be like. His wife, Sarah, sees this as idolatry and a blasphemous act that she must right. In her moment of corrupted action, she believes she must serve her God by whipping Parker's back with a broom and exiles him from her house. Ironically, this is also his exile from God's house, as Sarah's action pushes him further away from the possible relationship with God and ushers him towards denial and rejection. This is shown in the end of the novel on page 530, as Parker is crying underneath a tree with neither God nor people by his life. There he was, he who called himself Obadiah Elihu, leaning against a tree, crying like a baby. Ultimately, Flannery O'Connor uses Sarah, Parker, and Holga to illustrate the unstable and delicate relationship of religion, and how many precautions should be made to prevent actions from becoming corrupted, along with turning one's faith into rejection. I believe she accomplished this well, and in summary demonstrates the ever-delicate tension in relationships of faith and devotion.